I was presenting a talk to a group of master's in counseling honor students. And I asked the group, I said, has anybody in here ever been taught the purpose of emotions? What emotions are for? And pretty slowly, but he just kind of was looking at each other and like started shaking their heads no. And I had to admit, I never got taught that either. And so when you think about knowing the purpose of something, it's really essential. It teaches us how to relate to something. Without knowing the purpose of emotions, we most often end up trying to make the good ones happen more and avoid the things that make the bad ones happen. But the truth is there are no good or bad emotions. There are pleasant or unpleasant ones. And so we end up kind of stuffing those unpleasant ones. We can end up doing things to try to kind of self-medicate from them. Sometimes those things are not productive at all. They can actually cause a lot of problems in our lives and even addictions. We can end up trying to numb them out or drown them out with noise in our lives or excessive busyness. And knowing that emotions are information is really important. I think about the analogy of physical sensations. So if I'm in the kitchen cooking and I'm setting my hand down as I'm looking down at a cookbook, and all of a sudden my hand feels really hot, I know that's information that I just put my hand way too close to the burner, way too close to the stove, and I need to move my hand in order to take care of my skin. It's the same way with emotions. When we know what they're for, then we know how to respond to them. So emotions are information. So if we look at what they are, we know how to respond to them in a way that doesn't have to be reduced down to numbing them out or drowning them out. They're a lot like a toddler trying to get our attention. So if you've ever babysat or had nieces or nephews or little brothers or sisters, and they try to get your attention and you're not listening to them, what they usually end up doing is they start yelling, they'll start screaming, start crying and throwing a fit. But it can be something as simple as once we give them our attention and we say, what is it? And they tell us what they need. It might be something that's super simple. They just need to be heard. They just need to be listened to and acknowledged. And then we know how to respond. A lot of times we can think if the emotions feel complex, then the solution needs to be complex. But that's not necessarily the truth.